Alright, I got packed up. I'm on the Appalachian Trail, standing on it. I'm trying to walk this leg off. And it feels like, I've been having problems with this leg for the last several weeks. And it's not my knees. It's not the bunion with the cartilage. It's not my ankle, stuff called arthritic injuries. It's my whole leg. It's the whole right thigh area. I don't know if it's the way I sleep on the hammock. I went ahead and took that pad out this morning, but it's an overuse injury, and I just lost strength in this leg. I got to slow these miles down. And last night was a typically hard night. It's the first night ever hiking in an area I've never hiked in, and I have no support out here. I don't know nothing. I'm right after crossing that Potomac. I mean, it's just anxiety. And getting out here, I had no idea about this ridge. I had to go down so far the water, and now it's like I said, it's the first time I used that Far Out app on this hike. I started this morning, made me feel a little bit better. I started looking, and just 2.5 miles from here, north in the trail, it's not a water source showing up on Far Out, but it's got it. If you got to look at it, next water source, you got the if you go down to the water sources, when you click on an area, it'll say the next possible one. It'll go there, and then it shows you this gap, and then you click on the gap, and it'll tell you there's water down there. But it's just the way the app is. I never worried about it before because I had hiked everything south of Harper's Ferry. I knew I didn't need that part of the app. I didn't need to extensively go into the logistics, learn every little thing. But I spent about an hour trying to extensively get the hang of that app. And I'm going to start doing that every morning and looking all the way ahead, do every bit of logistics I can on the resources I have in the phone, And even though, I'm talking about the offline app, I can do it offline. But also online, it's got the Google navigation stuff. And I can go online. I got good cell signal along here, the Northeast is a little more populated. All through Maryland, I've been having like 3 or 4 bars all the way through here, I mean, even through these parks. Going to a park tomorrow. I'm looking at, there's that Washington Monument Park, and I've actually drove there because I wanted to park there on that section hike in Harper's Ferry. And they've got, I was reading about that. They've got water there, and I think there's a place I can charge up there. So I didn't even realize. So that's got my hopes up. There's stuff, see, I'm finding out. Wow, there is, I don't know nothing about this area. So I'm going to have to get up in the morning, every morning, and at night, and extensively do my logistics just on the next day, on everything. What's up, and kind of keep looking ahead. And if you look too far ahead, if you look like 100 miles ahead, it all blends together and it just confuses you. So you have to stay focused on like the next 50 miles. And there's nothing really good in 50 miles, and kind of look ahead of that 50 miles a little bit, seeing if, wait a minute, maybe I want to go 75 and just go shoot to 75. But right now, I'm dealing with an overuse injury, and that takes a whole nother mindset. I mean, I was thinking this morning, just really depressed after wet finally completely dried out, and just hanging this thing up. My leg was hurting that bad. And it's been getting worse, so I have to give it some time off. I have to get it repaired. But how do you do that? I looked ahead, and I was going to take a 00. There's a place by Walmart. Come in there on a Nero, do a 00. And I got to looking at the hotel cost, and it's like just ridiculous how much in everything up here. This is Maryland, and it's like 100. I mean, the best I get the veterans discount, or it's a military discount. So I'd have to be a good talker, show my VA cards. Yeah. I want the military discount. Here's my VA card right here. And I could probably get it. But it's like, even with that, you got to do the same rate day. So that's without. So to make a reservation, it even costs more. If the hotel's not booked out, and it's got the same day fee is less. And so the same day fee with the military discount is $148 for the motel. Nice hotel, And the regular rate, I mean, with the discounts, like 178 or something. Just what? You know, and, you know, I'll spend one night there, maybe. I'm not gonna 3 nights. I mean, I can buy like a used car for that much, or you know, to do a double zero, or double zero. Actually, I want to do a double zero. With a double zero, you need 3 nights. You come in on a Nero. Let me see. You get 1 night, 2 night, 3. Yeah, you need 3 nights in a hotel for a double zero. And geez, so that's kind of out of the question. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to start slow. I'm going to slow my miles down. That's how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to do it. I hate to do it, but it's going to hurt me. But I don't want to get off this trail. So I'm going to slow my miles down. I'm going to hit every hostel I can and to get off this leg. And I'm going to take it easy on the miles and look real ahead on my logistics. Right now, 2.5 miles, I'm going to get water. I'm looking tentatively just to do an 11-mile day to get to that park. But even at that, I need to get moving because I'm not moving real fast right now. I think I'll walk this out. This will walk out, but it's an overuse injury. That means it's going to continually get worse. And it's already gotten to the point where it's already affected my hike. I think what tipped it off is when I went down for that water source. It's way down that mountain. That's the furthest I've ever gone in my life to get water. And it's all because I don't know anything about hiking out here. I didn't do any logistics or nothing. Yes. So I've got to do that on a daily basis, every morning, every night, really extensively. You know, with every resource I got with my phone, and look ahead on this trail. So, but nothing to do but to do it. The thing I'm doing right now is walking back and forth on the southbound. Northbound takes a curve, goes down there. All these rocks. I'm just walking back and forth, just trying to work this leg out. And, ooh. All right, I've got enough food in the food bag. I'm not hurting there. I can go a few days. I've got the hang of these water sources out here now. It's not just the water sources. There's parks with water all over the place out here. I didn't realize. I started looking ahead. You know, this is a different country, a different area, and it's just something I didn't know. And I'm sure there's going to be places in Pennsylvania there's nothing for a while, stuff like that. So I really got to do my research. I got to start looking over. And the only thing I learned in that far out app is, you know, I learned all the basic stuff. That's all I needed. I already did I've hiked all that area twice, you know. Mostly everywhere I hiked a lot of the places I hiked it a couple times. So that was like the 3rd time I was going through. So, you know, hiked it in a lot of places both ways. In Virginia, hiked in both directions. But all right, this is like a foreign land, and it's just, I don't know. Even the people talking, you know, more and more you can hear these accents, these Maryland people, and or maybe Pennsylvania people next. Oh shit! Ooh. All right, let's get going. I'm gonna pack up and go. I'm glad the trail ain't too, but I mean, it feels like my leg is just bruised, and it's always been kind of sore. You know, I'm wondering if it's that pad. Because, all right, good morning.
Good morning.
I was wondering if it was that bad. And some guys come running by me. And I'm going to sleep without the pad tonight. I don't know if I feel like I'm walking this thing out. I've been doing it for I'm not going to walk it out. It hurts. It feels like my whole leg is like bruised, you know, on around like it. And it does feel like on that inside, maybe that's where that pad was hitting now. Oh. But I think I'll probably walk it out. But the pain goes all the way up, sometimes all the way to the hip. So I'm wondering if it might be a hip issue. You know, maybe the hammock, I might sit at an angle. I've been sleeping at that angle the last 3 months. You know, and maybe it's causing a hip issue. I don't know. I just don't know. all I can do is slow these miles down. I don't want to get off the trail, but if I can't walk, that's a problem, you know. if I can't walk. Right now I'm kind of limping, but we'll see what the weather's nice though. It's not raining. I'm not cold. I'm not freezing. It is a little chilly this morning. I still got on my rain jacket. But all right, let's get on down the trail here. I'm gonna be taking it easy. I might get 10 miles today. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. I guess the good news is it's not a sharp cutting pain. It's just a dull pain. But sometimes it goes up there to the hip. I think it hits a nerve. It's a little sharp. But this, and I'm working it out. As I'm hiking this morning, it's feeling a little bit, or I'm just dealing with it. But there was a lady come by. She come running by and said, "Oh, there's some nice bathrooms. You going all the way?" I said, "I'm trying to." And she goes, "Good luck. There's some nice bathrooms down there at your next spot. They're clean." I said, "Thank you." And I thought that was nice. Oh, Jesus, this doggone thing. But but what was I thinking of? Oh yeah, Harper's Ferry. When I went into Harper's Ferry and got my registration picture made for the bunk, they take a picture. I should have took a picture of it when I was in there. They take a picture and they put it in a book, and it's a Polaroid picture, and they put it in the book and put your start date, and when you entered Harper's Ferry at. And when you go in Amicalola, when you register for your thru hike, you don't get your hiker number then. You only get your hiker number when you show up for registration. When you show up at the base camp, that's when your hiker number comes in. Now I'm pretty sure the hiker numbers, when they start showing up in June, you got your southbounders, and that'll go into the book. And then you got your flip-floppers that start in Harper's Ferry. They'll start in May 1st. The ATC promotes that, could take stress off the trail. So they start in May, so then you got hikers in May taking off, and they're ahead going to Katahdin, and then when they come back to Harper's Ferry and go south, or flip-floppers. But my tag number was 1093 on March 17th when I took out my tag number when I got there. So my tag number was 1093rd person at, I think, overall they in the system, not just at Amicalola. Now then they give it. They document a number on how many people reach halfway, and I was number 667 halfway. Now you got to remember, a lot of hikers. I had hikers with bag tag numbers close to 2,000 that passed me. The younger hikers, all the younger hikers that started around me, they just went on past me. The ones that started before, and all the hikers, a lot of them in the first week in April, and some of your really fast hikers, I call them 100-dayers, ultra runner types. They start even in May, and they had real large, high numbers. Now, but that gives you an idea how many people. That'll give you kind of an idea how many people's dropped off this trail. I mean, I'm bag tag number 667, hitting the number. That's the number. I was a 667th person to hit Harper's Ferry for the halfway point. And I was bag tag 1093, and a lot of them with bag tags higher than me or past me. So there's for a multitude of reasons, I guess there has been quite a few gotten off the trail. It looks like. I don't know. I kind of got that feeling. I mean, everybody I see that's hiking, I don't know them, and they're all the younger ones that have passed me, and some of the other ones, that I knew that I was hiking with, they've moved on too. I think this injury right here, I don't know, I did pretty good. I did a 100-mile week there coming through the shanties. I stretched it out. I got ahead of people that were normally my pace. So I might have paid the price on this leg though. I don't know. We'll see. I'll get this walked out, and I'm gonna cut my miles down. I'm going to a whole new plan. I'm gonna get this going home out of my head if I can. But I gotta walk though. I gotta be able to walk. But you can, if I got a plan to rehabilitate this leg while I'm on the trail, that's what I'm gonna do. So Right now, all I can do is lower these miles and give it some more rest. That was a group of about, had to be 50 people. It was some kind of group. They're just hiking. They all got to met up and hike. It's a day hike group. All right. All right, I have no idea where that park is, but it doesn't matter. I've made up my mind on it. I'm starting to work this out. It feels all right. I've got a plan on this leg. I'm gonna cut the miles down, slow my pace. I'm already doing that right now. I'm forcing myself to go slow. I'm gonna cut my miles down, daily miles down. And I'm gonna make a couple adjustments. I've already made my mind, I've already figured in my head I'm gonna make a couple adjustments to my sleeping system to give that leg the best rest it can, the best optimum rest it can. And that's it, man. That's the plan. And we'll see how that goes. If it gets worse, then I won't be able to hike because I just won't be able to walk. If it gets better, then I'm going to stay with the plan until the leg recovers fully, so it starts feeling good. Okay, that's the new plan. Now that I've made up my mind on that, and it's just this constant battle. You know, sometimes it's like, don't be a wimp, push on, let's go. Don't be a wimp, you know, that attitude in the head. And then there's the battle to listen to your body, and then the battle if you don't make the right choices, you're gonna end it. The hike's gonna end, and there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. You know, so that's it. And I'm not giving up, but I'm making a few changes for a little while. I don't know. This is tough. I just ain't been able to walk it off. It still hurts, and I've only gone maybe a couple miles today. Not even that much. It's mostly down. It's not any climbing. Really flat. I am concerned. I'm just gonna slow down and take my time. It's gonna take me all day to go a few miles. Jeez, I need to get off this leg, I guess. I'm down here and take a break in the park and eat some breakfast. There's a park down here. You know, I stopped in this little park here. Trail goes up the hill and goes up the mountain that way. And let's go. Got water without having to go down a mountain. And look at the Maryland countryside. I think we crossed Little Antietam Creek. That'd have been a sight to see them. Seen them Civil War brigades in the days marching out there. Hey, Bub. Oh, shit. Look at turn around. Hey, Bub. You keep showing up time to time. How you passing me? You can't talk? What's your secret? How you keep getting ahead of me? Alright, I'll let you go. See you later. Ain't been filming because there's a lot of rocks out here. I don't want to trip and fall, but I saw there's a smooth place here past this. Just had another thru hiker past me that I've never seen before. That makes sense. Oh, yeah. Here we go. All the way down. Rocks. some buzzing sounds. Wow. Let me get from under them. I read about one that said about static charges on these things. You're not supposed to stop underneath them. One's got it beefed up. That's a beefed up one. It's got to take a turn. But anyway, that's probably the power of the Boonesboro. And the next, I'm telling you, doing my logistics now. I did that this morning. Next townlet is a road. It's probably about another 2 miles from here. It comes out in a campground. The campground for the last couple of years, or last several years, they've been letting thru hikers. They got a place where thru hikers can camp there. It's about 2.5 miles from Boonesboro, which is a tiny hamlet of it's got a deli, a grocery store, I think, and a restaurant. And is what the description was, a tiny Maryland hamlet. It's a windy road, so you got to catch a ride to town. But if there's people in the campground, I don't know, I'll check them. I'll go down there, and the lady I talked to down there in the last spot, she said that there was hammock spaces too. So we'll see. I'll go in there and check it out. So let's go. But the selling point on this campground, it's supposed to have hot showers, free hot showers. Says this monument marks the spot where Major General Jesse Lee Reno, commanding the 9th Army Corps, U.S. Volunteers Corps, was killed in battle September 14th, 1862. This is some of the Antietam. Down there on the Boonesboro Road is the road to Sharpsburg. And on both ends, down this road here and down the other road, down the other gap, there was battles. That's for Civil War right here, right in these fields, man. All around here. South Mountain. The land around you was a scene of heavy fighting during the Battle of South Mountain on September 14th, 1862. This property is owned by the Central Maryland Heritage League, a non-profit organization. We depend on donations to maintain the land, currently restoring it to its original 1862 appearance. That's the trail. I'm not going down there. I'm going to go on back on the AT, which is right here. I'm back on the Appalachian Trail. I'm going to that campground. All right, we come down this next gap in 1/2 mile. That's where there was a battle down there too. And it's 2.5 miles on a windy road. Goes there to Boonesboro. Boonesboro, there's a road, the Sharpsburg Road. And I think, if I'm right, I might be wrong about this, but I think the Federals would call all the battles after towns, like Sharpsburg, whereas the Confederates would call the battles after landmarks, like mountains and streams. But anyway, South Mountain back there, the Battle of South Mountain, where I was just at, that's what led the engagement when Lee first entered across the Potomac. That was the first engagement. And then that turned, they threw a couple divisions in there, and McClellan ended up, he hesitated, like always, was indecisive, and Lee got his troops to organize and set up defensive positions in Antietam Creek down the Sharpsburg Road down here, and that's where the Battle of Antietam started. The bloodiest battle of the entire war. So that was a lot of people killed, a lot in the Civil War, a lot of soldiers, both sides, right here in this stretch, in this whole area right here was full of violence. Yeah, I got at least 3 more hours of sunlight. But look how dark it is coming down to this gap down here. I mean, it is dark. There's a hiker coming up the trail this way. Day hiker, I can hardly see him. Check this place out. This place is just for hikers off the AT that the state of Maryland does. Hot and cold running water. portable water here. I can get water before I leave. But it gets better. It gets better. I didn't even know this already eating. We're not that far from Boonesboro, and Domino's delivers here. I'm looking down there, and the lady, the last one said they did, and I forgot it. And I look down here, they're eating Domino's pizza down there. See, they're all camping, right? That's the camping area. But check this out, it even gets better. There's a shuttle service to Boonesboro, $6 either way. And courtesy of I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna come back and call them, see if I can't shuttle there in the morning. Now 23 miles from Penmar, and there's a hostel there. So I'm gonna text them and see if I can't get a bunk for there, for not tomorrow, but the next day. But I gotta figure out, I might do a zero here, let this leg heal. I can get pizza, I can leave my setup, I'll show you where my setup is. I can tie it off on either end, so you know, look at, and I can just shuttle into town, go to the restaurant, maybe resupply. I can do that, and then I could just go by that hostel if I wanted to, you know. So I don't know. I gotta decide. But I think after I got wet yesterday, and then it got cold last night, I've got a cold. I've been out of the weather all day. I'm fixing to shiver. I'm afraid to take a shower. If I take a shower, I can't dry off properly. It's 70 degrees, and I got my jacket on. I mean, I'm about gonna get chills. I got a cold. Got a summer cold on top of everything else. But that's all right though, because my leg's feeling better because I laid off of it. I didn't do a big day. I've done, you know, this like back-to-back 9-mile days, 10-mile days, and I've slowed my pace down. You know, after I mean, this is not back-to-back, but all day today I went slower because yesterday that's when I hurt. When I hurt my leg, that was it. I couldn't hike no more. I didn't hike much further. But now, today I just hiked real slow, and I put in just under 10 miles, and I come up to here and made some adjustments. I got a good hang. I'll show you my setup. And I've already eat. There's the other campers. There's at least one through hiker, that one boy down there, but I don't know about the women. See, I don't see him. All these through hikers been passing me. All right, there's my setup right here. Oh shoot! See, they're doing that. That's the camp area down there. They're down there eating pizza. Here's the back of the showers. There's an outdoor sink where you can do wash your stuff. And right there, that's where I'm right here in the back, right here. And this is my setup. So I'm fixing to lay down. Yeah, there's power in there. I'm charging my transponder right now. Getting that charged up. In the morning, I'll put this on charge, get this completely topped off. I'm gonna edit my videos, and I'm gonna stay at that hostel there at Penmar. I'm gonna go ahead and text them here in just a minute, see if I can't get well, I don't know, because I'm not sure if I want to do a zero here tomorrow or not, so I gotta make a decision. It's 23 miles from here, and I don't want to do a 23 mile while I'm trying to heal my leg. I don't want to do 23 miles. I can do like 15 maybe, and then do 5 or 6 coming in there, and then I can get everything done while I'm there, you know, clothes washed, everything done, and then move, you know, my stuff uploaded, and then be out of there that next morning. That's what I'm probably going to do. So I'm probably not going to do a zero here, more than likely. We'll see how the leg feels. I'm going to hold off on making a reservation for that hostel. All right, that's good. I just don't want to forget about that transponder. Now, the first time I actually brushed my teeth in a sink in a while. Now we'll come back and check on that. Yeah, I had it on the edge of that pad. I've taken the pad out. I'm not going to use it. I've took my underquilt, put it back up tight so it's going to be nice and warm. Then I'm going to keep them long sleeves on there. I took my whole underquilt. It's sitting, my whole leg sitting like it's floating in the air right there when I got all that down under it. And so I don't get cold tonight. My feet might get a little chilly, but I think they'll be all right. I can always tuck them in a little bit. And I'm gonna wear this light jacket here. opened up, so this will be fine. And if my head gets a little cold, I'll put this over my ears. So I think that it's gonna be fine tonight. It's not gonna get as cold as it was last. I think it's gonna be probably gonna be in the 60s tonight. That'd be nice. Okay, let's do some research for tomorrow. I gotta make a decision. I might do a zero. Might do a zero right here. I mean, this little oasis here, I could live here perpetually free. Now this is in Maryland. They tried this in Glasgow. They built it. They did it this year. They built a shelter, or last year, and just for hikers. You know, where you do it, and they end up getting all these homeless people in there. They gotta keep them running about. But it's so expensive to live here in Maryland. You ain't got that many homeless. You know, not around here, so you don't have the homeless problem. In Glasgow, they had to hire like an extra deputy just to keep the riffraff from it. And the thing about it, when the homeless come in and they take over a place like this, the hikers don't even touch it. They go away, because the homeless, you go in there, they know what good gear is. They steal your gear. You couldn't set up your tent. They come in and steal it. So it's like, if I knew those homeless, if I see a homeless person, I'm out of here. I ain't leaving my stuff nowhere. I mean, it's anybody sketchy coming up. But this is right off the trail, and it's a ways from the trailhead. It's perfect. You know, so this is pretty interesting. This is a oasis. I can live here perpetually free. I think I might stay here for. We'll see how the lake feels tomorrow. That'll be the big thing. See how the lake feels. I'm going to research that restaurant and see when it opens in the morning. And before I decide, I might do a zero here. Probably be the smart thing to do for the leg. We'll see how the leg feels tonight.